private citizen, taxpayer. Every time I come up here, I hear about how our immigration system is broken. I'm just referring to something somebody else said. Our immigration system is not broken. The federal government chooses not to enforce the laws we have. In-state tuition to illegals encourages and promotes more illegal immigration. The magnet of in-state tuition will encourage illegals to continue to invade our country to take advantage of our largesse. This will create a fiscal hardship on our primary education system where extra teachers have to be hired because of the onslaught of illegals. If illegals were not drawn here by the magnet of free health care, education, welfare, food stamps, citizenship, and amnesty, our country would be in a better shape to take on more legal immigration. In-state tuition rewards illegal behavior. The laws of the United States prohibit illegal aliens from residing in our country. The federal government's failure to act to secure our borders does not give illegals any more right to be here. Illegal is still illegal, and it is the state's responsibility to protect its citizens by eliminating as many magnets as possible to reduce the onslaught of illegals invading our country. And I have heard, people say that they have these dreamers and these young kids that are participating in this have a certain amount of time they have to express a desire to become a permanent resident. And I'm just curious, out of all these that have gone and participated in this program, how many of them have really gone on and become citizens? It seems to me when they got into the 8th grade, please answer the question. Are they citizens?
Yes.
You're all citizens? Okay, good. That's good.
Let the witness testify. Mr. Navjar, go ahead.
I got sidetracked.
That's okay.
Well, okay, give me a moment. I will say this. What I was going to say was, when these kids, I don't know, when you get into high school, you're in the 9th grade, you're already getting pretty smart. You know what's going on, and you should be able to be familiar enough to know with your civics teacher and your teachers in school that you need to start applying to be a citizen. And you've got 4 years in high school and 4 years in college to be a citizen. By the time you get out, you're practically a citizen. But I would just ask this. I will just say one last thing. It's not to be disrespectful to anybody, but not everyone is college material. The world needs people, tradesmen, they need welders, they need these people, they need other people. They need all kinds of people, not just college-educated people. Think about that.
Thank you, Mr. Knight. Questions for the witness?
Yes, first of all, I'm not going to engage in any kind of debate with anyone, but I'm just disappointed you used the word invade, because to me that takes me back to the world wars and conflicts that we read about invading. I don't think they have come to this country to kill off any Native Americans, put them in reservations, taking their land, their way of life. That's not what we're talking about here. When your concern is for them to become citizens, they want to. Believe me, they want to. They don't know anything else but Texas and America. And the ones I've talked to, what they're dreaming about, the dreamers, 100% of the ones I've talked to are college material. They are in college, and they will succeed if we allow them to. We somehow allow the process to continue the way it is. I would hope there would be an easier way for them to become citizens. Many of them would choose to serve our armed forces, our country. So, I think it's unfair that you use the word invade. No one's invading this state or this country. Coming over here peacefully, coming over here to get out of harm's way, coming here, brought here by their parents and no choice of their own since they were little. And I've gone to the public schools, many public schools. I've been in public office 40 years in different capacities, and I can tell you, my heart goes out to the children, regardless of who they are, where they come from, what nationality, what color of skin. They're children. And I think that it is a moral obligation on our part as adults, to work with one another and be compassionate to our children, because they are the future of this country. We are a land of immigrants, a nation of immigrants.
Legal
and
immigrants.
Let me finish. I didn't interrupt you when you were talking.
Excuse me.
Is that, yes, sir. Now, the people that came here that I spoke about, going to get me emotional and I'll talk about how this country was shaped. It was shaped by illegal guns coming in here and killing off Native American Indians who were here before anybody else showed up from all other countries in the world. And they were killed off, their way of life was taken. Everything was taken away from them and suppressed and killed off because of what? Is that okay with your way of thinking? These people are not invading us. They're not in here trying to kill us off or put us into reservations. They got a dream, an American dream that was made possible by our forefathers, mine and yours. And if we think that we're so high and mighty that we can't open the door to someone who's hungry for an education, then we need to revisit the most important book in our home and see what it says and whether or not we're living it. That's all. I'm just disappointed, and I can have my chance to express to you, as you're having yours, to express to us how you feel about this issue. And to use the word invade, that's a slap in the face of the law-abiding young people that are in this room. They're not invading anyone. They're here contributing. Everything that I've shared with you talks to that effect. Okay?
So their parents came here for education? They came here to work. They came to invade us and work.
Well, these people come here to get an education and to work and to contribute and be taxpayers and live the American dream that you and I have been fortunate to live all these years. For me, 69 years, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful.
Well, I'm not quite 69. But
well, I am.
I'm pushing.
I'm telling you.
I'm pushing.
I'm older than you, so maybe I have a little bit more wisdom.
Oh, excuse me, 3 years. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that makes a lot of difference.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Navjar, you look like you wish to reply, so
I did, but it won't do any good because he's just going to get more upset at me. So I'm just going to let sleeping dogs lie, and I made my point, and I'm sorry that some people don't feel that way, but when we have Muslim jihadists coming in our country, among other things, and whoever else, and then different groups say death to the gringo.
Hold on a second. Before we start laughing about that, let me make it very clear. I sit up here by the Lord's grace because 5 people decided to crash a 757 into the Pentagon, for which I was 15 to 20 yards from. They came to this country lawfully, but overstayed their visas unlawfully. I take the threat of terrorism very, very seriously. That's what this committee is about. It's about border security, a number of things. As you come testify, people that might sit in the audience and disagree with your perspective, just as Senator Lucio said, we might be passionately disagreeing on something, but we will do so very respectfully. Mr. Navjar's First Amendment right is as important as yours. So let's respect it as such. Mr. Navjar, please close.
As I said, I'll say too much and I'll get more people mad, so I'm gonna leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator
Chairman,
Lucio.
Mr. Chairman, before he leaves, I was fortunate enough to live in a home with a father who was a disabled American veteran who didn't discriminate against anyone. His best buddies were men like you during the war. And he told us that we were Americans first. We should be proud of our culture and where we came from in the world, but we should be more proud of being Americans. And America has always been a land of immigrants. America has always opened the doors for those that come to our shores and borders in need of some kind of help. I just can't even imagine us closing the door on someone who is hungry, someone who is naked, someone who is homeless, someone who is in need of any kind of assistance to keep living their lives. And no one can convince me otherwise. You know, your point, well taken, I'm sure, by everyone. And I fight for you to have your right to express yourself, but that doesn't mean I have to agree with you. Because, quite frankly, as I've stated before, my faith leads me to my decision making, and that faith should be number one priority to anyone, because that leads us in the right direction every time.
If I may say two things. You talk about homeless people. What about our veterans that are homeless?
I fight for them every day.
Okay? And I will say one other thing. When I was growing up, my mother taught me that if she wouldn't even tell a dog to shut up, she would say, be quiet, because you just don't do things like that, sir.
Who told you to shut up?
Sir?
Who told you to shut up?
I didn't say that, sir. You're telling me how your experiences.
You insinuated
No,
someone told you
no, I
to
did
shut
not.
up.
I did not, sir. You told me about how you were raised by your father, who was a disabled veteran, and you spoke highly of him. I was talking highly of my mother, who brought me up. If you can't say something nice about somebody, don't say anything at all. And so I try to live by that. I'm not successful. I'm not completely perfect. I realize that. I get off the handle sometimes and I say things maybe I shouldn't have said, or said them in the wrong way. But still, we're all Americans, like you say. But I was not one that invaded this country and killed all the Indians.
No, but somebody did, and history, tells us that that wasn't the right thing to do. And they were invaded. That you can use that word in that.
You can blame the federal government on that too, the way they were treated.
Well, the federal government wasn't in existence at the time.
Well, you look at all the treaties with the Indians. I've said enough. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Navjar, I appreciate it. Pastor?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Pastor